G'day. Welcome to episode 16 of the Love, Death, and Movies podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Byron, aka The Notorious, aka Letterbox List God, aka Agent Smith. um, I'm probably not going to keep this on the whole time. I am joined, as always, by my other two co-hosts, Ash and Harry. This is our final episode of our 90s excursion through movies. We did The Green Mile last week, and coincidentally, we're doing another movie from the same year, which is The Matrix. We've also got a draft at the end, which is the best movies of the 1990s. I'll explain how that goes later on. But first, just quickly, how are we doing? Ash first.
I'm always first.
Yeah, good.
Makes me feel so loved. Thank you guys. I'm doing fine. I've been off since God, it feels like I haven't worked in ages, honestly. I've been off since like the day after the 12th. So it's been like 2 full weeks and I don't
That
even know
is
what
a
my life is
long
anymore.
time.
Yeah, I've never taken this much time off of work before and I like didn't have a vacation. I haven't like gone anywhere, so it's like really kind of fucking with me a little bit. I love it, but I feel like I've been like living in an alternate universe for 2 weeks and now I have to go back to work on Monday. So, but yeah, I am pretty good. I'm attending Sundance online right now, so watched 5 movies so far and I have 5 more left. That's me though.
Nice.
Ash dropped the first swear word before me.
Did I wait 15 seconds?
Yes. Harry, how's your week, mate?
Yeah, man, it's good. I'm like the same as Ash, but I kind of delayed a week, so I'm off for 2 weeks as well. But like my first, I'm like almost halfway through my leave, which is good. The first week I was doing application for this Australian 30 under 30 thing, which took me so long, but it's like the last year I can do it, so I literally just gave it all. I'm stoked with it. It's all done. Like, no one who listens to this is gonna know what I'm talking about. But like, it's something I did for work, and it's all done, and I'm stoked with it. So I'm happy with that. I've just literally just been watching just a fuck ton of films, mainly Nicolas Cage movies. I got to meet Eric Bana during the week, which was pretty cool. I got to ask
Oh,
him
you
a couple,
did that. Okay.
yeah, I asked him a
Nice.
couple of questions. I asked him, you might know this movie, Byron. I don't think you will, Ash. It's the definition of an Australian film. I asked him if he's ever going to make a sequel to The Castle. Have you ever seen The Castle, Ash? I doubt you have. Have you? Man, if we do an Australian month, we're putting The Castle in there because it is batshit insane. Shout out to Marta. Marta, out of the blue, a couple months ago, just goes, "Yo, I watched the Castle, not sober," and she was just telling me how like fucking insanely Australian it is, and I was actually super impressed that she actually did The Castle, because The Castle's like one of those movies you don't watch as an Australian. No, don't watch if you're not Australian first.
Yeah.
Like it's purely for an Australian audience. But yeah, he was awesome. He's awesome. That was at the premiere for, if you've seen The Dry, it's a sequel to The Dry, another Australian movie, but it's like a murder mystery. If you haven't seen The Dry, wholeheartedly recommend it. It's a really solid crime mystery. But other than that, I've just been watching the Australian Open. Something that people might not know about me. I'm a massive tennis fan. I love tennis. I watch every Grand Slam, but I mainly get more obsessed with Australian Open, not only because it's the best Grand Slam, but because it's time zone wise, it's the easiest to watch. Fucking unreal game last night with Medvedev. I don't like the guy at all. If anyone's a tennis fan, I hate Medvedev. Sorry. But it's Medvedev versus Sinner on Sunday night for the final, and I can't wait for Sinner to wipe the floor with him. Ciao, ciao. See you later. But other than that, my week's been good. How about yours, Byron?
Nice. Yeah, nothing too major. It's just a lot of fun movies have been watched. A lot of very stacked months so far.
Hell yeah.
I've been rewatching a lot of 5 out of 5 stars that I have. Not to see if they hold up to 5 out of 5s. I'm just trying to get some organization going.
And it's fun to
But
rewatch
nothing
movies
really.
that are good.
Yeah, yeah, especially when they're The Matrix. Uh, especially, no,
Spoilers.
I really enjoyed The Matrix last night. In fact, very, it climbed a long way on my greatest of all time list.
Nice.
Yes, but I'll say where that lands later. But without further ado, we should get into things. This week's episode is about The Matrix, released in 1999. It was directed by Lillian Lana Wachowski. It stars Keanu Reeves, Carrie-Anne Moss, Lawrence Fishburne, and Hugo Weaving. It won 4 Academy Awards for visual effects,
Good.
sound mixing, film editing, and sound editing,
Those all make so much sense. That's
all
great to hear.
justified.
They revolutionized visual
Oh
effects with
yeah,
this
I,
movie.
I loved. Yeah, I wrote my review. I put the word revolutionary in
Yeah,
multiple spots because it truly is. It was the first movie to sell 1 million copies on DVD.
that's cool.
Um, Harry was probably one of them.
Might be. Surely I am. I've got it on 4K now, but like I'm pretty sure I have the VHS, the original VHS. That's at my mum's
Mm.
place.
That's so cool.
Yeah, this is
It's
one of my
also,
favorite movies of all time. I
oh yeah,
fucking
it's a lot.
love.
It's a lot of dude's. It's like your dad's favorite movie. It's
Yeah.
like
Well, you're like the
Matrix and
perfect age,
Gladiator.
Harry.
Yeah, like I grew up like I remember seeing Matrix Reloaded in cinemas. I didn't see the Matrix in cinemas, but I remember before Matrix Reloaded, my brother showed me all the like big movies when I was a kid, like Jurassic Park. I'm sorry, I'm derailing you right now, Byron. Jurassic Park and like all those like quintessential like huge movies from 80s and 90s. And he's just like, we're watching this. I didn't really understand it, but all the action scenes, I'm like, this is some of the coolest shit I've ever seen. And then the more you watch it when you get older and you understand the whole idea of the film about this like AI world and like the definition of reality is unreal and it's so sick. Sorry.
Yeah,
Back
all
to you.
all the Matrix movies and movies. I said this to you like a couple of days ago. It's just like you watch, you get it, but do you fully understand everything that's happening?
Yeah.
No. You're gonna have to watch this movie at least 5 times over and fucking pause at every scene to like truly understand what's actually happening. Because there are
Understand or
points in this
believe?
movie, both.
He's beginning to believe.
I'm pretty
Um,
sure the whole world is just the Matrix and we're all living
yeah,
in it. So
Yeah, I'm not
it's,
unplugging.
it is in
never.
the way that is true. It's also widely regarded as not only one of the greatest sci-fis of all time, but also one of the most influential films of all time,
Easily.
considering by the time its sequels had released, it had already been parodied in over 20 feature films.
Yeah, I was thinking about that last
Shout out
night.
Scare Movie 3.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking scary movie. I was like, I remember that where what's her name? The Chris Pratt's ex. The
And
main
Anna Faris.
Anna Faris, where she does the crane kick, the bullet time crane kick. Yeah, that's awesome. What a throwback.
And then after the sequels, I'm sure there's hundreds, if not thousands, of movies that
Yeah.
have something from the Matrix. I have a couple written down too.
Oh yeah.
But before we get into the actual breakdown and deep dive of the movie, I just want to grab your guys' quick initial thoughts. This was a rewatch for all three of us. Harry, I'm going to assume you hold this movie higher than both of us. So, what are your initial thoughts on this rewatch of The Matrix?
I've loved this month. It's literally watching my favorite movies of all time. This is my favorite sci-fi of all time. I think this is the best sci-fi of all time. I don't care. Like, I'm one of those people. My favorite is the best. Like that's just how I see movies. I think that everything about this movie is perfect. Like down to the fucking casting. I'm sure you got notes on the casting. I won't spoil any of them. But like how they got to Keanu, like I love Keanu. Keanu's not a very good actor. Like I think we can all agree. Like the way he is just like he's on the phone. He's like, oh no, like, but he's perfect
he's
for
Keanu
that.
Reeves. That's what he is.
Yes.
Like,
Keanu Reeves is just the fucking man.
But like in terms of like emotional acting, sure. In terms of physical acting, he's spectacular. Like he's one of the best. He's up there with like I would put Tom Cruise on that level as well in terms of like physical acting. He puts his and he still has it with all the John Wick movies. This movie, like you've said it. Like the more you watch it, the more you take away from it. And it's insane that this movie is 25 years old. That is fucking nuts. Because I watched it again for probably the 50th time, and I'm like, this looks like it was made this year, which is crazy. It shows you how much studios have just invested into CGI, and that's gone downhill. But I adore this movie. I love the messaging behind it. I love the way it's made. I love that it's literally just a Wachowski's fucking dream. Um, I like when we get into the intros. I got a little fun fact of what they did with the intro, which I think is fucking baller as shit. But yeah, everything about it. It's its own genre. It's sure it's a sci-fi movie, but it's a fucking Matrix movie.
Yeah, damn right. Ash.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with all of that. I don't know if it's my favorite. I don't know if I've ever like thought about my favorite sci-fi just because it's not like my favorite genre, but this would probably be up there.
Yeah,
I can't really think of like too many that would beat it out, maybe Alien, but yeah, I have not rewatched this in like a year and a half, maybe. I think I've seen it like maybe 6 times total, and I this was like the most immersed into it I think I've ever been. I saw it a lot when I was younger. You know, I feel like my like paying attention skills were not as good then. So I really enjoyed this rewatch. I was just like in it from the second it started. I think the action is really good. I think the effects hold up pretty well. There's only like 2 scenes where the CGI I was like doesn't hold up that well. But overall, for being 25 years old, like most of it is really well done. So I'm very impressed by that. I think all these people were perfectly cast, like the main ones at least. I love Carrie Ann Moss. I loved
yes,
her in Memento. That was like one of the first movies I saw her in, and Trinity's like my favorite character. So, yeah, she is superior. But obviously, Keanu Reeves is just unlike anyone else. I don't think anyone could have played this part besides him. So I'm curious to hear about the casting information. But yeah, I think it's just such an influential movie. I think it speaks to like the future technology and AI and just like what it all means. And I think it's still applicable even more so now, which is funny that it was made in the 90s. So I think it's just a timeless movie.
yeah. Well, sorry, before you go on, Byron. I saw this in the cinemas last year, and when you see retro movies, it's just gonna be purely those fans of that movie, right? So it was every seat was sold. Everyone's a full on
Mhm.
Matrix fan. Everyone's wearing glasses, or sunglasses, like Byron, yeah. And when Carrie Ann Moss, when Trinity says "dodge this," the cinema exploded. She's it was
She
fucking.
changed the world as far as wearing spandex goes.
Oh yeah, yeah. She turned spandex cool. Yeah, yeah. Nice. All you, Byron.
But yeah.
Yeah, I've technically watched this movie twice in the last couple of days. I watched it once because I was pausing it every couple minutes or so just to break this down, and then I wanted to get an actual full length watch through. This is one of the quickest 2 and whatever hours movies like ever.
Yeah.
This thing
Mhm.
flies by. I think um, that has a lot to do with the Wachowskis' direction. I think this movie is paced perfectly. It has one of my favorite aesthetics of all time. It has some of the best action of all time, some of the best sci-fi work of all time. Um, I think the cast is not only a ton of fun, but they're all just fucking amazing. Even the characters that you're not supposed to like, they're cool. Shut up. I just think it's a revolutionary masterpiece of action science fiction, um, and a movie that will never go down. There's too much rewatchability here, and it just proves to be one of the greatest movies of all time, in my opinion.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
5 out of 5. But without further ado, we'll get into the movie itself. The film opens from the point of view shot of the Matrix itself in the form of this now iconic raining green code. The color green was chosen to reflect the green tint of early monochrome computer monitors, and throughout the movie, the green filter is used in every scene that takes place inside the Matrix, and a blue filter for scenes outside of it.
Except for that
We
one scene though.
Yes.
Yeah. Good. Yeah.
We open on this code because this is the opening point of view shot from the eyes of the Matrix, a trace program listening in on Cypher's call with Trinity, played by the wonderful Carrie Ann Moss. The opening exchange already lets us know that Cypher is annoyed that Trinity dropped in on him because these late night hacks is an indication to what happens later on. We go through the Zero on screen to arrive through the policeman's flashlight as they close in on Trinity. During this, we're also briefly introduced to Agent Smith, our antagonist of the movie, as he delivers the awesome line to the lieutenant,
Yeah.
"No, Lieutenant, your men are already dead."
No, Lieutenant, your men are already dead.
Yes, we get the iconic shot of Trinity jumping into the air, which is our first look at the awesome visuals and choreography and stunt work. It turns out that Agent Smith was correct because Trinity takes out these cops in 21 seconds.
Fuck, she's cool.
Yes, I counted.
That's awesome.
After she beats the cops, you can notice Neo on her computer as she now knows that the Matrix will now be hunting him. Trinity then gets chased by Agent Smith across the rooftops, but ultimately escapes through the phone hole as we go through the phone hole in a awesome transition.
Yeah.
So cool.
Now, I do want to grab your guys' quick thoughts on this opening scene because I think this is one of the best and most fun opening scenes of all time.
Yeah, you go.
Absolutely.
Start with Ash.
Yeah, you go first, Ash.
Harry's like, I have lots of thoughts. Yeah, I agree. I think this is one of the most like fun action openings ever. I think I was like making some notes and I wrote down like this movie just starts and doesn't waste a second. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't waste time. I mean, you still don't feel like it's rushed, but it doesn't waste any time as far as like story moving forward and action moving forward, which is so great to see like from just the get-go. And I love that the green just like instantly takes me back to like those like DOS systems. Like I feel like my work still has some of them. So I'm always like, oh God, that's so jarring to think that that's how computers looked. But I love that they chose that. So yeah, I think it's great. I love that transition through the phone. It's one of my favorites in the entire movie. I think it's just absolute perfection. I don't have any complaints with this first, like, what is it? First, like kind of like 12 to 15 minutes, I guess.
Yeah, around that. Yeah, about 10, 15 minute mark.
It's great. I got 5 words written down for the introduction, and it's "Welcome to the fucking Matrix." Like it's exactly what you said. It's just like they don't waste a second. When the cops go into the room and she's just sitting in the chair with her back to them, I'm like, oh, let's go. But an awesome behind the scenes story about this is that Wachowskis wanted $80 million for the budget, and Warner Brothers only gave them 10. So they did a full on bet. Like, they just gambled on this, spent the entire $10 million shooting the first scene. They then sent it to Warner Brothers and like, we've spent the budget, we've got 10 minutes, this is it. And they watch it and they're like, and all Warner Brothers like, this is fucking cool. Here's $80 million. Because all they'd made before that was one movie. I think it was called Brink. They didn't really have, they weren't the Wachowskis then, they weren't the creators of the Matrix, and then like they just showed them exactly what they can do with that money, and I think anyone watching that scene for the first time, everyone's just like hooked. Yeah, great.
Oh yeah,
great.
I think this also, one last thought I had was I think this is how you do like a badass like female action character really well. I think a lot of modern movies can sometimes like, it's like a trying too hard type of effect that can happen. And I think this movie is a great example of like how to just create characters, whether they're male or female, but like this one just like, it does it so well where I feel like she is just such a badass character and it doesn't feel forced. It doesn't feel like they're trying too hard. Like some of the Marvel ones feel like, And I think this is like one of the best examples of just like such a badass action female star.
Yeah, because she's not a sidekick at all. And like she's at all times she's better than Neo. Like until Neo fully realizes that he can fucking fly. But in saying that, like movies like you said in Marvel where they are better, they're always just like looking down on them, being like on the main character, being like keep up. But Trinity's never like that.
Yeah.
Which I think's fucking awesome. Yeah, I totally agree.
Oh yeah, and I think just based off this opening scene, it also shows you the perfect balance so early because it starts so fast with all this action. But this movie, again, it's what's the runtime? I think it's just over 2 hours. Yeah, and it perfectly balances it. Like there's like here's all this like real fun like action, stunt work, choreography, cinematography, but then there's also like this really deep like storytelling, which is fucking awesome. It's just great. And Carrie Ann Moss's Trinity is also, I would say, one of the best, definitely one of my favorite female protagonists of all time. Right, probably not too far away from Ellen Ripley.
I was just thinking the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Ellen Ripley's clear. Number one.
And Gamora out of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
I do love Gamora.
Yeah. Specifically, Volume 2.
Can't go without talking about Volume 2 on this podcast.
Yeah, The Matrix is one of my favorite movies of all time. Volume 2 is my favorite movie of all time, you know?
Right.
Yeah. Sorry, bro.
12 Angry Men. We transition and go from the phone hole and come out through the letter A of the word searching on Neo's computer, which is ironic because the search for him has now begun.
Ooh.
Yes.
Byron dropping some fucking knowledge.
Yeah. We're now introduced to our main character, Neo, aka Mr. Anderson. As I'm calling him Neo the entire time, by the way.
Yeah. Mr. Anderson's his fake name.
Between his fucking names. Our main character, Neo, who was originally offered to be played by Will Smith.
I don't like that.
I don't really like Will Smith. I like him in Men in Black, which I guess would have helped him because that was released in '97, I believe. I wouldn't have hated it, but landing Keanu Reeves, I think, is probably one of my favorite action castings of all time.
Do you know why Will Smith said no?
I don't know.
Because he chose filming Wild Wild West instead.
Shame.
Yeah, definition of a bad career move.
Wait, he was offered it and he turned it down, and that's the only reason
West.
why he wasn't in it.
Yep. He went.
Well, I'm glad that he had that movie because I'm really glad he turned it down.
He went and did the Western with a giant robot spider. Yeah.
Oh, fucking idiot.
I actually I don't know if it's a hot take. I do not like Will Smith as an actor. I just don't find him.
I don't like him either. I just don't mind him in like the odd movie, like I Am Legend and Men in Black. It's better.
I might be the only one. I think Will Smith slaps like hard. Like anything
well, that's awesome.
Does,
I feel like I'm in the minority.
Anything he does, he just slaps and he's
yeah.
great. Yeah, no, Will Smith is painfully average for me, to be honest. Like he's painfully average. I agree. Like I'm Legend's great.
I would support you if you were a fan.
No, I did love him in like the early 2000s and late 90s. Like I love Fresh Prince, but I love Men in Black.
I do love that.
But I think nowadays, like I thought that King Richard was good, but I couldn't give a fuck about anything else he does. I'm not going to go to the movies and be like, oh, Will Smith is there.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. No.
Yeah.
I think my slap joke went
here we go.
painfully underrated.
Neo awakens and notices that his computer says, "Wake up, Neo, and to follow the white rabbit." Neo gets a knock on his door, and we're introduced to Choi. Choi seemingly breaks Neo's mind as he says, "This never happened. You do not exist. Seems like you just need to unplug," which are obvious messages telling Neo to wake up. He gets invited to go out and declines, however, notices Dejour's tattoo being a white rabbit, so he inevitably goes with him. We then move to a club, which is a real-life location in Sydney, Australia.
I've been there.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Did you respect my pronunciation of Australia?
I did. I really disrespected it. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Neo stands by and comes face to face with Trinity, who he knows as a renowned hacker. She then tells Neo that he is in danger and that the Matrix is watching him. Neo then wakes up again, and we arrive at his work, the metacortex, which is a term that literally translates to transcend the boundaries of the brain.
Classic.
He briefly speaks with his boss and later sits at his desk, staring at his computer monitor, waiting for more instructions. Those instructions, however, do not come in the form of his computer, instead coming from perhaps the greatest phone of all time, the Nokia 8110, with the fucking flip dial.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. I say like Nokia, so I was like trying to.
Oh, there we go. Pronunciation barrier.
I don't know.
Nokia.
Nokia. How do you say it, Harry?
Nokia. Yeah.
Yeah, Nokia. Okay.
No, I don't think any American would pronounce that spelling with like a nah sound. It would be like
How did you
no.
say it? Nokia.
English is the most confusing language, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
That's all right.
That and Elvish.
On the other end of this phone, we hear our first line from Morpheus, who was again originally offered to Val Kilmer.
Yeah, which is nuts.
What is happening? I'm like mind blown right now with this
This
cast.
movie could have been drastically different. Will
Not that I
Smith
dislike Val
and
Kilmer,
Val
but
Kilmer.
To be honest, I could see Val Kilmer
I
in
could
that.
see it too, but
That's better than Will Smith
it'd be
as
weird.
Neo. Like, he was, yeah.
I think it's because this movie's been around for so long. It's just like thinking about it now. It's just like, fuck, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. But then again, this is 90s Val Kilmer, so
it's true.
fuck yeah, bring it on. But they obviously it ended up being played by the brilliant Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah. Shout out.
He tells Neo that they are looking for him and proceeds to tell Neo to stand up and see for himself. Surprise, surprise, it's the agents. Neo dashes through the cubicles, which was obviously done in Everything Everywhere All at Once. Best Picture winner. But in the end, Neo is captured by the agents. Before I move any further, because these are reasonably big chunks, just thoughts on Neo's introduction. Harry, I'll get you go first.
I love it because, again, it just doesn't waste time. We could have had 20 minutes establishing his day-to-day life and how mundane it is and how he's just by the books and he's into the machine. Like, we could get that, and how every now and then, but you just wake up, you're like, all right, he's a hacker. He's like, what the fuck's he stealing? No one knows, but you know it's illegal. Yeah, I think this is awesome, and instantly just goes to show the amount of awesome props that this movie uses, as well as costumes and stuff. But like in terms of props, the phone is so cornerstone. Like the communication in this movie is just such a messaging behind it as well. That you transport between worlds through a phone. That's kind of, in a way, that is like nowadays especially, that is very, very by the book. I think it's great. Again, it's a cool little thing which I'm not sure if it's in your notes, but Rage Against the Machine is all through this movie, and it's just so. Yeah, that's what this band is made for, is a movie like this. Like just the credit song as well, when it goes into the credits, I think is one of the coolest credit songs of all time. But yeah, I love this opening. I think it's a really cool way to introduce Neo as a person, introduce like the antagonists that we should be running from, which is of course the agents, but also to do it with just like fucking cutting out all the fat and just showing us what we need to show, what we need to see.
Yeah. It's a really good point, because I think for me, I was going to say, I think they show everything you need to know about him with the way that the shot is done. And that's by what you said, like the props and showing the whole desk setup, and kind of like, if you're someone who kind of generally knows what a hacker like is or does, that room setup and like desk setup tells you everything you need to know about him. Yeah. Like the kind of life he lives and the kind of person he is. And I think the few words he does speak, like you don't need a lot there. I think that's where they kind of use like their shot selection really, really well. They don't waste a shot. Like, I guess that's my thoughts on that, because I feel like I know everything I need to know about Neo without necessarily hearing him say a whole lot.
Well, I think he has like 80 lines in the entire film. And 40, I think I saw a fact the other day, 44 of them are questions. Like,
that makes so much sense.
Which is great.
Yeah, but would you not be asking questions if you're in like,
yeah,
what,
but
he gets dropped with all this shit and he's like, what the fuck is going on?
But that's my main thing of just like how good of like a physical performance actor he is. Because like 80 lines, you don't really have to think like, whoa, what is the Matrix?
It's kind of similar to John Wick. I think he's really good at playing characters where a lot is said with the face and with the body language and with the like action and fighting. He doesn't need to speak a lot. So, yeah,
and if he does, it's always fucking yeah.
I know kung fu.
Because he says yeah in the Matrix just as much as he does in John Wick.
Yeah.
I think Keanu Reeves just loves the word yeah.
He says it out of one side of his mouth as well. He doesn't go yeah. He goes yeah. Oh, yeah.
He always does in like slow motion.
No one else talks like him.
It's so sick.
It's why he's the goat.
What do you think?
I think it's good. I think it again, the pacing of this doesn't waste any time, and it just lets us sink into this character immediately. I remember the first time I watched The Matrix, I saw Neo pop up. I was just like, fucking like that guy. He's the man. And then later on, he becomes even better. It's awesome. I think that this movie does a great job with all of their character introductions.
Just wait till we get to the scene where he flexes and the dust comes off him. That's really cool. That's my moment.
Yeah. We then arrive at the station where Neo is getting interrogated by Agent Smith. Neo proceeds to give Smith the finger and demands his phone call. Smith, in retaliation, melts Neo's mouth shut, which in itself is an awesome and haunting visual. For sci-fi, there's a little bit of horror mixed in here.
Yeah, this scene's terrifying.
He also bugs him. Neo then wakes up for the third time in this movie, and gets a call and gets picked up by oh shit, where'd it go? Oh my god. Oh, there we go. Neo picked up by Trinity, Switch, and APOC. They then debug Neo whilst in the car and arrive at this broken down hotel.
Oh, yeah.
It's at this hotel where Neo and Morpheus finally come face to face. I think it's important to note that Morpheus in Greek mythology was the god of sleep and dreams. He describes the Matrix as a world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. And this is where we get what I believe to be one of the most iconic and best scenes in cinema history, the pill scene. Yes.
Yeah. I get asked the same question whenever I'm at a music festival. Red pill or blue? Yeah, all right, continue.
The blue one always looks far nicer. I don't know what it is.
My instinct is always red. Obviously.
Yes, but Morpheus gives Neo two options: the blue pill or the red pill. He says if you take the blue pill, the story ends, you wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. If you take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland and I show you just how deep the rabbit hole goes. Neo chooses to take the red pill and goes down the rabbit hole. Thoughts on not only the pill scene, but also the interrogation scene and Morpheus's proper introduction. Ash, please.
This whole chunk of the movie is probably where it really starts to become a favorite movie, and just I just love it so much. When you kind of talked about it, you said he gives him the finger, but that's one of my favorite lines. Just, how about I give you the middle finger and you give me my phone call? He's just so serious, and he's just quick with it. There's no thought. He's just okay. He always has these funny little responses to everything, and I feel in real life I'm how would somebody be that witty all the time? But I believe it with him. So
yeah.
Yeah, I love that line. But yeah, I love everything you said about the mouth scene and the bug going in him. It's so horror vibes. I love it so much. It was I was watching it, I was ew, I don't remember this being so gross, but obviously it's always been that gross. It just always surprises me.
It gets grosser.
Yeah, it does.
Gets grosser.
When they remove it, it's even grosser.
I'm thinking, you'll get.
Oh, you're thinking of something else. Yeah. But yeah, I do love finally them meeting. I think that's one of the best scenes. I think the whole kung fu part of it obviously is just hilarious and is one of my favorite scenes of the entire film. But yeah, I think their conversation is where it starts to get a bit grounded in the movie. They start kind of talking about more deep things, which I think is kind of a shift in the tone, which I think is kind of cool. And just him asking what is real? How do you define real? I think those are just questions that human beings are always kind of asking themselves. So I think there's some real grounded emotion in their conversation there. So I like that it kind of encompasses that, where it's not just an action sci-fi flick.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. Because I've said that I watched this movie as a kid, and we're thinking back on it as those scenes. These scenes of the mouth and the bugging are horrifying to me. Mm-hmm. I always remember thinking back on that, being I don't want to watch this movie right now because of those scenes. But it's kind of cool because it really just shows how much of a program he is, because they're tracking him like you track a fucking bug in your system, which is sick. I I love this. It already shows like a little bit of rebellion in the character of Mr. Anderson. But
Mhm.
again, like he thinks he's raging up against the machine, but he like the Smiths are very much in charge here. They could kill him in this room and no one will bat an eyelid because they're the fucking agents of the machine. But yeah, I think this is sick. I love APOC. I love Switch. I think every character in here is fucking awesome.
Mhm.
But yeah, once we get to Morpheus, that is in that horrific building that reminds me of my first apartment. It's so sick, and like again, this the visual effects of like this is what the real world looks like, and then it goes down to where they're sitting. I think it's fucking cool, and
So
again,
cool.
visual effects with the mirror and everything like that. But the whole red pill, blue pill is it's so simple. That's what I love about it. It's like this storytelling. If we break this story down, it's insanely complex. Like it is insanely complex. So this story about reality and AI and like even down to a religious standpoint. But this guy has these writers and directors, the Wachowskis have just whittled it down to into a simple decision of like, do you want to just continue your life and believe whatever you want to believe, or do you want to change some shit and learn kung fu? Like, it's literally just down to like, do you want to wake up or stay asleep? Is literally what it is, which I think is fucking cool. I love this scene. I love this movie.
Hmm. I also, you guys reminded me, like, I forgot how much Everything Everywhere All at Once pulled inspiration from this movie until I rewatched it. And I was like, holy shit, like, even down to the like kung fu aspects, like, it's just like plucking from it.
It even inspired Best Picture winners in
Yeah.
the 2020s.
Like, how?
Fucking crazy.
Amazing.
Now, in itself, The Matrix took a lot from a lot of stuff. The Ghost in the Shell, a lot of anime, um, which I haven't necessarily written down because there's just far too much.
Yeah.
But a lot of The Matrix was inspired by other projects, and then The Matrix inspired decades of projects later on.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
learned that the red pill is part of a trace program, which is designed to disrupt Neo's input output carrier signals so Morpheus can pinpoint his location.
That's so cool. That's so cool. Yeah, that's what I tell the police. It's a tracer program.
Yeah. Neo's perception unravels in the form of a mirror, which is our symbolic gateway into another reality. As Morpheus says, have you ever had a dream that you were so sure was real? What if you were able to wake up from that dream? How would you know the difference from the dream world to the real world? So
Such a
fun.
powerful line.
I know. This is why my notes are so long because I just had to quote these things in full because it's
Amen.
so fucking
Lines
good.
like that is why I questioned if my life is real or not.
Um,
Yeah.
when Neo gets that mirror liquid on his body and goes into
Mirror
shock,
liquid.
our other characters stand by seemingly unbothered because they do not see that. They do not see the mirror liquid. That's just what Neo sees as his mind is breaking down, leading to yet another awesome fucking transition.
Yeah. The going
His
down the
voice,
mouth is so
yeah,
sick.
we go down his throat, and his voice changes from a normal scream to a robotic cyber like malfunction, which I think is just awesome. It's after this transition, Neo opens his eyes to see himself plugged into this pink gel pod. We get this zoomed out shot of all these pods to convey how generations of human batteries that would have lived and died in these pods. A flying machine then unplugs Neo as Neo sees his bald reflection in the surface of the machine, just like he did in Agent Smith's and Morpheus's glasses. Reflection is a very common occurrence in this movie. Um, Neo then gets sucked through the bottom of his pod, goes on a fun, awesome looking water slide, lands in water, and then gets picked up by a hovercraft called the Nebuchadnezzar. The
The
Nebuchadnezzar?
Nebuchadnezzar.
Nebuchadnezzar? There we go. I was typing this
The
word out.
Nebuchadnezzar.
This is fucked.
Because he.
I put hovercraft looking thing.
It's a sick design of a ship. It's an
Yes,
awesome
yeah,
design.
yeah. The design on this whole movie is awesome, and from the aesthetic to like actually like the machines and stuff, it's just awesome. Neo then gets delivered to the group as Morpheus says, "Welcome to the real world."
Welcome to the real world.
Ooh, again, Lawrence Fishburne, his line delivery is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
everything that he says like sounds so impactful, and because it is. Neo drifts in and out of consciousness and is low key turned into Pinhead. Morpheus and company rebuild his muscles as Neo asks why his eyes hurt, and Morpheus says, "Because you've never used them before."
That's the
Again,
best
awesome
line.
shit.
That's the
Um,
best line in the
Oh,
movie for me.
insane.
it's definitely one of them. You've never used them before.
Have you
It's
noticed?
good.
Do you notice that Fishburne he leans in every time he says
Yeah,
a
Yeah.
line? He's like,
yeah.
why my eyes hurt?
It makes
Because
it
you've never
just so
used
much
them
more
before.
dramatic.
But it's
Yeah.
mostly his head. He's not like he doesn't lean with his whole body.
No, it's just like
It's like a neck head thing, and it's just yeah. He steals the show every time he's on screen.
Neo, want to get burgers? Yeah.
Neo wakes up for the fourth time in 38 minutes of the movie.
Is he truly
Uh,
woken up though, Byron? Is he truly
but
woken up?
this time it is in the real world, as for the shot is in the blue tinted filter.
Mm.
Morpheus introduces Neo to the crew: Trinity, Apox, Switch, Cypher, Tank, Dozer, and Mouse.
Shout out Dozer.
At 7 characters. They sit Neo down in a chair, which uploads Neo to the construct, which is a plain white space, which I believe is meant to look like the simulated home from 2001: A Space Odyssey. Morpheus describes the construct as their loading program. He points out to Neo that his clothes have changed, the plugs on his body are gone, his hair is back to normal, and he says that Neo's appearance is what they call residual self image, which is the mental projection of his digital self. Again, this is the kind of thing. It's just like you get it, but do you fully understand? He shows Neo the world at the end of the 20th century. He says it exists now only as part of a neural interactive simulation that they call the Matrix. He then shows Neo the world as it exists now, which is this dark post-apocalyptic world that Morpheus refers to as the desert of the real. You can't. These names are just so fucking cool. He says that they only know bits and pieces of information, but what they know for certain is that in the early 21st century, all of mankind was unified in celebration. We marveled in our own magnificence as we gave birth to AI, a singular consciousness that spawned an entire race of machines. We just don't know who struck first, us or them.
Mm.
Yes, it's great. Um, he ends this by saying to Neo, "What is the Matrix? Control. The Matrix is a computer-generated dream world built to keep us under control in order to change a human being into a battery." Then Neo, obviously with being fed all of this insane information, kind of freaks the fuck out and inevitably passes out.
You mean
um,
you wouldn't take all of that lightly?
Yeah.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like most of us would not take to the situation uh, easily at all.
Without lots of questions.
Yeah. Uh, I just want to grab you guys' thoughts on the aftermath of the pill and overall development of not only our characters but the story. Harry, please.
It's gross shit. This is the scene that I was talking about. That's fucking gross of him in that pink liquid, and he's literally
Yeah,
being
it's
born.
nasty.
He's
Yeah.
literally being born again.
Looks
So
like a newborn. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Because that's
No
how
hair in his body.
that's how newborns are like born, because they get the claw. The claw comes down and picks them up.
You
And-
know, because you've experienced it so many times.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the stork comes and gets the baby and yeah. Yeah. No, it's great. It's so metaphorical. Again, it's an awesome way to first see how you plug into the Matrix, I think, as well. It doesn't just straight up go, hey, we're going straight in. It's like, that's what these next couple of scenes are really well done in, like, kind of easing you into the idea, because there is a lot of what's the word I'm trying to say, is like information giving.
Oversharing?
Yeah,
Not really.
I'll think of it. But there's a lot, it's information overload here, right? And they could easily just put everything down at once, but they don't, and they ease you into it as they're easing Neo into it. Also, Neo is a anagram for one. I think that's why they call him Neo, which is fucking cool. Like, how if you think of it, yeah, they ease him into it, which is sick. And just this whole story of like how humans have become batteries, I think, is not too far from the truth. What we are now, which is horrifying to think about. But yeah, I think it's just a really good contextual alignment sort of scenes. Ash.
Yeah, no, I think watching this now, especially like as we get further and further into like a technology run world, it gets scarier and scarier to watch this movie. So it is interesting how all the little details kind of line up and how realistic it is with like the battery thing. But yeah, I like this because I feel like it was perfect that they chose to just focus on like Neo being new to the experience, but you still have all these other characters that have already experienced it and sort of are not comfortable with it, but they kind of just know what to expect and they're just like, this is just what we do. And so I think that was a really smart choice to kind of have like a group of like what 7 or 8 of them that have already sort of been doing this and kind of just have him be the only new one that has to learn kind of what this process is like and how it all works. I think every character has a little moment to be able to kind of contribute something, and I think
That's a
that's
really
really
good
nice.
point. That's a really
Yeah.
good point. Because yeah, that is there's a lot of characters here, but yeah, they each have a moment. Yeah,
I
exposition
will,
is the word I was
yeah,
thinking of.
exactly. I will say on rewatch, I felt like it's more and more clear, with Cypher, like how sketchy he is from the get-go. I feel like I picked up on it a lot faster. This watch, just like the way he talks to Trinity and he just gives off shady vibes from the beginning.
He's a skinhead. He looks like he's part of a couple of groups that'll be marching through cities. Like, yeah,
Yeah. Also, he was in Memento with Carrie Ann Moss as well. He played the bad guy in that.
he was, wasn't he? Yeah, he was the like detective sort of guy, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I did mention to Harry a couple of days ago, I was just like, this movie is like pretty fucking easy to predict, like for like certain parts, like Cypher.
Yeah,
It
you.
is, but it doesn't take away from it, which
No,
is so
exactly.
nice.
Yeah, he's the evil goatee boy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's predictable and somehow is still a positive.
Who the
Yeah.
fuck chooses to have a goatee like that in the afterlife? Like in the post-apocalyptic
Just down
world,
the middle.
where you're just like, oh yeah, this is
Some
this
of
is
you
it.
men do some questionable things with your facial hair. I don't know.
What are you talking about?
Not you guys.
You said you man.
I said men, yeah, men as a
Yeah.
whole.
Classic. Terrible film, man. Terrible film. Terrible.
Neo wakes up for the fifth fucking time in the span of 45 minutes.
Is he truly awake though, Byron?
Fuck off. I don't know
Hmm.
anymore.
What's real?
Morpheus tells Neo that when the Matrix was first built, there was a man born inside it who had the ability to change the Matrix as he wanted, to remake it as he saw fit. And he was who freed the first of us and taught us the truth. He says, as long as the Matrix exists, the human race will never be free. He says that after he died, the Oracle prophesied his return and his coming would hail the destruction of the Matrix, end the war, bring freedom to their people, which is why Morpheus and company spent their lives searching the Matrix, looking for him. And then he says that he did what he did because he now believes that search is now over. Gets me excited every time.
Yeah. Yeah.
After receiving 10 hours of jujitsu, Neo then goes into combat training. He tells Morpheus that he knows Kung Fu, which is obviously one of the more comedic lines of this movie.
The way you say it though, it is such a
It's the way
guy
he
thing
says
to
it.
do. Is like, what are you doing? I'm gonna go learn jujitsu for 10 hours.
He's like, how much does he hit? 10 hours. It's insane.
He's a machine. Yeah.
Yeah, it's it. Neo gets taken into the sparring program, which is similar to the programming reality of the Matrix in terms of gravity. Neo fights Morpheus in another great display of this movie's choreography and cinematography. As the rest of the crew watches through the monitors, Morpheus then takes Neo into the jumping program, which Neo plummets to the ground and dies the end. Oh, no, obviously not. Neo plummets to the ground and goes into the road below as if it was a sponge, bounces back up and re-hits the ground. We cut to Cypher, who explains that everyone fails the first time.
Hmm.
Neo and Morpheus exit the program. Neo finds blood in his mouth and questions Morpheus, saying, I thought it wasn't real. However, Morpheus explains that the mind makes it real and that the body cannot live without the mind. So if you die in real life, just in your chair.
Body can't live without a mind.
Yep. Morpheus then walks Neo in what Neo believes to be the Matrix, but is instead just another training program, this time for agent awareness. Mouse uses a woman in a red dress to distract Neo.
Oh yeah.
In the zoomed out shot, you can see that there are
So
multiple
easy to distract the
duplicates.
man.
Yeah. I mean, when everyone's wearing a suit and then there's one person in red, you're gonna look no matter what. Like,
I know, I do love that Asher. It's just like he just learned that he's in a post-apocalyptic world.
yeah.
The whole world he lived in is not real, and he's like, "Oh my god, woman."
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see in this shot of the whiteout shot of all the people, you can notice multiple duplicates of people. There are two nuns, there are two sailors, there are two bald people in close proximity of each other. Mouse uses duplicates to save code. Morpheus warns Neo that everyone who has stood their ground against an agent has died, but where they have failed, Neo will succeed. We have another reflection shot of Morpheus's glasses as a desert eagle is pointed in the face of Neo, foreshadowing an important scene later on. Neo asks, "What are you trying to tell me? That I can dodge bullets?" Morpheus says, "I'm trying to tell you when you're ready, you don't have to."
That's so
Again.
good.
Such a good line.
Lawrence Fishburne's line delivery might just be my new favorite thing. Just reading this back, it's just like fuck, he's good. Thoughts on Neo's training sequences and adapting to all of this news, Ash?
I apologize earlier when I brought up the kung fu. I don't know why I was thinking it happened more quickly, but I think it just speaks to how well this movie is paced because it just kind of like I just didn't realize that much time goes by. I love the scene. It's one of my favorites in the entire movie. I'm just such a sucker for like over the top kung fu fighting. I think it's perfect. And I love that they just learn it real quick on the system and load it in, and they're professionals at it, obviously. But yeah, I just think this scene is so fun. I think it showcases like a nice, like not battle, but like, training between the two of them. And it's really one of the only like real action scenes we get with Morpheus and Neo together. So I just adore it.
Exactly.
I think this is sick. I love how Neo, you see through just like the way that people act around Neo that he's a legend. Like he's a myth of finding the one to end the war, and like they think that it's him, and like just the way that they talk about him and act around him, he's very much like a myth, a legend around them. But one of my favorite scenes in the movie is when like they're fighting each other, and then I think it's I don't think it's Mouse. It's not who's the brother of Dozer.
The one who controls like the.
It was, but I think it might have been
Tank?
Mouse. It's either Tank or Mouse that goes into the food room. He's like, Morpheus is fighting Neo, and they all just scramble to go.
I think it is Tank.
It must be. I think it's Tank as well, because he's the one that's like loading them up, and so and but like the way that they all scramble, they're watching like the end of like a fucking epic like sports game. Like I think is so sick.
You're on mute, Byron.
I love this. They're just the way that they. This whole like training sequence is sick. If you notice it, I'm not sure if it's in your notes, Byron. Sorry if it is spoils. There's a yellow tinge on the training sequences because this is like not the Matrix and not the real world. This is like their own program.
Yeah.
So the Matrix is all green, the real world's all blue, and then this is all yellow. Yeah, neutral, which I think is awesome. But yeah, I think like Lawrence Fishburne's a fucking badass motherfucker.
Yeah,
he's mad.
So.
Samuel Jackson was also approached for the role, which I could see.
That doesn't surprise me.
That doesn't surprise. I could see, but like,
I mean, it is Samuel Jackson, but
I just feel like he doesn't have the. I don't know. There's something different with.
There's something
Morpheus's
about
role.
the tone to his voice.
Yeah, that's it.
Like perfectly
like the croakiness and deepness.
yeah,
of it.
has
More like a wise.
It sounds like really dramatic.
A wise person he can like instantly trust, like sort of.
Yeah, it sounds like someone who's like.
Chief.
Yeah, it's like 150-year-old like wise man.
Like a leader.
I don't know. I just.
Yeah.
I mean, he literally is the captain.
Yeah, amen. But yeah, the whole idea of creating this little program within the program and then duplicates, I think it's just this story was written over 6 years, and it's obvious that there was like I think there was like over 20 different drafts, and it's obvious because like how they got to this idea of all these different ideas could not have been on the first page, like the first draft. It just couldn't have been.
Yeah,
because it's
so
insane.
layered.
I love it. Yeah, you Byron.
You good?
You
Yeah,
might
yeah.
be on. Oh,
Uh, yeah, I think all the training sequences, not only are they just like another display of the fucking awesome stunt work and visuals, I just think they add just a little bit of fun in the middle of a lot of confusion and complex storytelling. Um, oh, that comes back later, which I fucking love the callbacks in this movie,
but
man.
he does a lot of
Everything comes back around.
he does a lot of references to Bruce Lee.
Yeah,
In like Enter the Dragon, he's like,
yeah.
and then like it's like
I'm not gonna lie. Being a UFC fan, every time I see this, I just think of fucking
easy.
Adesanya and fucking Silver.
Like I love them. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I know.
No.
It's just the first clip that always comes to mind, and then
I
it's the Matrix, and then it's Lee.
yeah, yeah. Fair,
Um,
fair. Nice.
we leave the programs as our team hides from a sentinel or a squiddy, as Dozer calls it. The machines left behind their humanoid forms and adapted squid and insectoid forms to be more efficient hunters. Again,
That's terrifying.
these are fucking terrifying. You could put these in a horror movie, and it would work. It'd work pretty well.
Yeah.
Neo sneaks up on Cypher, who quickly turns off his display monitors. This is important soon, aka sort of right now. We cut to a diner and see that Agent Smith is having dinner with Cypher. Dun dun dun. I did write dun 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 in my notes.
Glad you did.
I think it's cool to point out that in the windows behind their table, you can see two agents in the reflection of the windows. I only caught this time around of watching it, which I believe would have them positioned right where the camera is. Which again, reflection in this movie is it's just really well done. Cypher explains to Smith that he wants to be someone important, like an actor. He is an actor. Agent Smith Agent Smith then says, "Whatever you want, Mr. Regan," in the tone of "I don't give a shit."
Whatever you want, Mr. Regan.
No, I think Cypher is actually one of the more interesting and important characters to the story, and not in the way you might think. Because realistically, the majority of viewers are Cypher, because if they knew the truth, we would have taken the blue pill, because we do it every day with escapist fiction like sports, video games, and cinema.
Not me.
Um,
I'd learn kung fu. Thank you very much.
Yeah, but you wouldn't know that.
Yeah, but if you know what Cypher knows, you would know that.
When he pulls the pills, it's just like, which you can either go back to your life and wake up, and then or learn kung fu.
You see, sorry, there's a massive tangent, but you guys are fans of The Office, like the US Office,
Yes.
yeah. And there's the deleted opening of where Jim tries to convince Dwight that the Matrix is real, and they get people to like play every role, and he's just like, "Oh, do you want to play the red pill? Find out how deep the rabbit hole goes, or take the blue pill and wake up and believe whatever you want to believe." He's like, "I'll take the blue pill." He's like, "No, I'll take the blue." And he's like, "Really?" He's like, "No, I'll take the blue pill."
It's like in Barbie when
Dwight
she's just
response
like when
ever.
she has to pick the fucking again the Matrix. The Matrix inspired that goddamn scene from Barbie.
Amen.
The fucking shoes. I only just clicked onto that as I said it.
Good movie. I love
We
Barbie.
get a nice comedic scene whilst the crew eat dinner. Morpheus then takes Neo to see her, aka the Oracle.
Yeah.
We go through
Yeah.
one of the greatest suit-up scenes of all time as our team re-enters the Matrix,
Oh my
all
God,
in
I
their
love this
fucking
scene so
black
much.
leather.
Yeah, it's fucking cool, man.
Which
The
being
circling
in white,
around.
it just nags me a little bit. It's just like fuck, we're almost all like the same.
No, Switch is mad. Don't you
Yeah, I know.
dare.
I know. I'm just saying, like nothing to the character. It's
Not
just
like
that she's the
this.
only one in white, and it's just like fuck.
Not
Kind of
like
wanted them all to have
this.
like a uniform, you know. But it's alright. Makes it stand out. It's here where we see Cypher throw his phone in the garbage bin, which is important because Cypher is Morpheus's phone guy, which is also important later on. Whilst Morpheus and Neo go to see the Oracle, Morpheus nods to a blind man and who nods back at him, which goes back to the theme of perception, which extends beyond mere sight. Again, just another interesting thing. Like Like he knows that he nodded at him. Um, Neo stands by in the waiting room and sees a kid bend a spoon, which gives us another reflection shot of Neo in the spoon looking all distorted. I love these reflective shots. The child says, "Don't try bend the spoon. Instead, only try to realize the truth." This is like if I saw this kid telling me, it's just like, "Shut up, I can do it." uh, Neo does just that and bends the spoon, but gets told that the Oracle will see him now. Neo meets her, who we now know as the Oracle. She makes cookies and she assesses Neo. This is smart because cookies in internet slang are identifying, assessing trackers that you get when you first use a site. So just
Yep.
as those assess the devices that we're using, she is assessing Neo, which I think is fucking brilliant storytelling.
Again, this isn't the first draft. This cannot be done in the first page.
What it is,
No.
or
Damn impressive.
Um, she then tells Neo that he already knows what she is going to tell him. Neo says that he is not the one. She worded that sentence like that on purpose, so whatever response Neo gave her would be the truth.
Is it though, Byron?
Yes.
Is he still awake or is he still asleep, Byron?
Uh, Neo said that he is not the one, and that doubt is what's holding Neo back. She then says to Neo as he leaves, that Neo is waiting for your next life, maybe, who knows? Which is true because we'll understand that later on. Thoughts on Cypher's initial betrayal of Morpheus and the team, as well as the Oracle, because I fucking love that scene. Harry, please.
Yeah, the steak looked incredible. That's like
That's
wait, I love that whole thing. He's like, I know this isn't real. I know that it's just what my mind believes it's real. I've never had a real steak. Like he's like goes through. I love that sort of like idea of reality. Yeah, as you said before, this is so predictable, but like again, that's not a bad thing. It doesn't take away from the
no.
story at all. It kind of like it's needed.
yeah.
But the whole going to the Oracle, I think, is awesome. I think that she's lying to him on purpose, because she tells him that like you can change shit, like it's just all up to will, and that's her kind of growing his sense of will in this world, in this real world. So her telling him that he's not the one means that he has to find out on his own, which I think is insanely perfect. And like we knew he was the one because the like how she talks to Morpheus, and Morpheus
He's the main character.
Morpheus tells him but Morpheus tells him that that Oracle told him that his search would end with finding the one. And he's like, I think my search has ended. It's so cool. And like, if Morpheus knows that it's him, then it's him. And like, she also says that like Morpheus will never take my answer as truthful from now on. He'll truly believe that it is you. He'll believe it with all your heart. There's gonna be no changing his mind. So I think this is really smart in a scene where like the oracles are no all be all. So at the end of the day, he's obviously the one. We all know this from all 4 of the movies, 1.5 being good, and
Whoa.
well, no, we can get into that discussion later. But
Second one's good.
yeah, second one's good. Yeah, okay, good. I thought you were going to say the 4th one was, and I was going to fight you.
Yeah, that too.
It's not though. It's not. But the whole idea of like finding it out on your own, I think, is fucking awesome. No, the 4th one's a fucking travesty, Byron. It's the whole movie is him doing this.
3.5.
Fuck that movie. Halfway through the movie, it's like, oh, everything you saw before is fake. He goes back into the Matrix. He's the one, Byron. He's the one.
Okay, gentlemen.
I like the movie, man. I'm sorry.
Different episode.
Ash, what'd you think of this?
See what I have to do. You guys have to keep these 2 in line.
He's the one, Byron.
I hate that I associate this scene so much with Scary Movie 3 because I watched it so much as a kid, because I literally was like Queen Latifah's like wearing the same outfit, smoking cigarettes, like everything is like the same. And I hate that. I have to associate that with this movie. But yeah, I second everything you said. I don't have too much more to add. I would just say that, yeah, I think it's, even though this movie can feel predictable at times where it's like, of course he's got to figure it out on his own. Like that's like the whole purpose of like these types of movies where like the person who's the chosen one has to realize it themselves and their potential, but it doesn't take away from anything. So it's just continues the story. But I don't think that it like is a negative that it's sort of predictable in that way. I think it's a great conversation, and I think it really like brings the story up. I don't really have anything to add about Cypher. I mean, like I said, I kind of feel like you pick up on it. Huh?
Except that he's a bitch. yeah. I mean, Agent Smith is the antagonist, but Cypher. I think he's a pretty cool side villain.
Do you
It was
think
definitely
that
necessary.
We hate him later? We definitely hate him later on. But
there's the argument that Agent Smith isn't a villain. He's just a program.
this is true.
He's just doing what his purpose is. He's got no choice.
Still
a villain.
Yeah, we arrive back at the broken down hotel, and Neo sees a black cat walk past. Looks back and sees the same black cat walking past again. He says deja vu.
He doesn't say deja vu. He goes, "Whoa, deja vu."
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, and that like quiet but like deep voice.
Yeah, I love it. It's so rustic.
Finally explains that deja vu is usually a glitch in the Matrix when they change something. We saw another glitch, Harry, when you mentioned the stake. I don't know if you picked up on this one, but when he picks it up at first, the stake's like ripped down the middle and it's bending over his fork. The camera cuts away and it cuts back, and that stake is in a solid piece.
Interesting.
I did not pick up on that.
There's a glitch.
That's very cool.
There's minor ones throughout this entire movie, but the black cat is the first one that they're like, hey, this happened.
Yeah.
They realize that this hotel is a trap. Mouse tries leaving through a window, but is now being replaced by a brick wall. Now, Mouse tries holding off the gunfire, but is ultimately sprayed down. R.I.P. Mouse. First death of the movie. Poor old Mouse.
Yeah, he sucks because he's like the little brother of the team.
Yeah, he was also like pretty much the comedic relief too.
Yeah,
he was so like joyful in his handful of scenes. Like,
well, he
nice.
turned in. There was a scene where he basically turned into a digital pimp, like where he's like, yeah, you like that lady? Like, I can program something else, and he's like, yeah, what are you asking me?
There was like the nice comedic scene with them eating dinner.
You want to go to a hotel? Yeah.
That's the scene before Neo meets the fucking Oracle, which is like one of the most important scenes of the movie.
I love how that scene doesn't get the editing for, and it's needed, but I think that's pretty fun.
Yeah. Morpheus requests his phone, which is important because we saw Cypher throw it away. He plays stupid and starts checking all his pockets, but uses Trinity's phone. Apoc hands Neo a gun and says that he hopes the Oracle gave him good news. Our team climbs through the walls. However, Cypher coughs and sneezes like a dumbass, and gives away their position. So I don't like Cypher. Well, sort of. Morpheus then jumps through the wall and holds Agent Smith back and demands that the team get Neo out of there. Morpheus battles Smith, which ultimately kind of just gets beaten up, and I scored it 10-8 Smith.
That's funny. That's gold. Nice.
Arguably 10-7. Trinity, Neo, Switch, Apoc, and Cypher all exit the building. However, Cypher is separated. They all get sent to the same location. Cypher leaves the Matrix before the rest of the group. Cypher then kills Tank and Dozer back on the ship as the rest of our group is still in the Matrix. Cypher explains to Trinity over the phone that he's tired of the war, tired of fighting, tired of the ship, tired of being cold, tired of the food, but most of all, he's tired of Morpheus. He then unplugs Apoc, which inevitably kills him, and the same goes for Switch.
Not like this.
That one of the more impactful lines of the movie. I mean, her accent like makes it a little bit funny on rewatch. But
funny.
But yeah, not no. Yes. Shut up. If it was the first time, I'd be like, oh yeah, that fucking sucks. But no, I know what happens. It's like the mouse scene in the Green Mile. Like, I know what happens.
Nice.
Like, I'm fine with it. Surprise, Tank is alive and blasts Cypher with the gun that Cypher dropped right next to his body. And then in brackets, I've put idiot. Why would you drop the fucking gun next to him?
You're gonna burn.
Uh, Tank brings Neo and Trinity back to the ship. Neo, Tank, and Trinity stand by and are about to unplug Morpheus so Smith can't get the information that he needs from him. But Neo stops Tank from unplugging Morpheus because he realizes that this is the moment the Oracle was talking about earlier with sacrifice. Neo and Trinity go into the loading program as Neo does his best impersonation of a character that he hasn't even played in his career, John Wick, and requests guns. Loads of guns.
Lots of guns.
Lots of guns. That was like when he says that, it sounds like it's the same actor, obviously, but it just sounds like John Wick. He's like guns.
Just his audition.
Yeah. He's like,
or John Wick sounds like him.
Yeah, I mean, this is true. Matrix came first.
Nice.
Whilst this is happening, Smith explains to Morpheus that the first version of the Matrix was a utopia, but was a disaster because humans rejected a perfect world for one that would be more chaotic, and that humans have less in common with mammals than they do with viruses, which is a foreshadowing of Agent Smith in the other Matrix films, The Matrix Reloaded and The Matrix Revolutions. It's here where Smith finally shows his cards and goes from this evil yet relaxed villain to this unhinged, bitter, and desperate villain, which I think is actually a very intense and frightening scene.
Yeah.
And it really I think it does a good job of pushing Agent Smith as this actual threat. But yeah, thoughts on Cypher's full betrayal, character deaths, and Morpheus's capture. Hey, I know Harry loves this scene, but I'll start with you, Ash.
Go Ash.
Yeah, I mean, I think all of this is just kind of more progression in the story. I don't necessarily have like any of the scenes here that like really are like favorites for me personally, but obviously it is sort of where you start to get some of that like I don't really think it makes me like sad like I would normally with like character deaths, but it does start to kind of feel like, oh shit, like things are getting real. Like there's actual like real threats and people are dying, and there's just sort of this like movement towards Neo needing to like really come to his full potential and like make things better. So I think that's kind of where this sort of like progresses in that way. It honestly like it's hard to watch like Morpheus be captured and like kind of the way that he looks when he's stuck there. It's honestly kind of sad considering how much of like a badass character he is up until that point. So I think that's why his obviously his capture is or when he gets back with the group, it's very like satisfying. This just whole scene and like progression makes me just despise Agent Smith even more. The actor does a phenomenal job. He makes me hate him so much.
Hugo Weaving, baby. Yeah, I love him.
Yeah, Hugo Weaving.
I met him a couple of years ago just outside of a pub. He's Australian. He's from Sydney. And he's full on Aussie. And like I went up to him and I was just like, do you mind? I got a photo with him and I was like, I loved you in Babe, because he voices a border collie in Babe. Because whenever I meet an actor, I'm like, I want to ask them a question they'll remember. Because you can be like, I loved you in Lord of the Rings or The Matrix.
Yeah.
And he's going to get
so
that.
you asked him about a lesser known movie.
Well, I asked him about a fucking 10.
Like,
I asked him about a 10 out of 10, Byron, which is Babe, Pig in the City. And that's your problem. That's a you problem right there. That's it. But he told me, he's like, I've never been asked that fucking question before in my life. Wow.
It's like the Jamie Lee Curtis one with the
I went to the premiere of Halloween, and Jamie Lee Curtis was there, and I did Q&A, and I asked her if she can sign my copy of Christmas with the Cranks.
She's like, huh?
Yeah, she's
that
like,
really?
Really?
Got 5% in Rotten Tomatoes?
Yeah, I fucking love Christmas with the Cranks. But yeah, sorry, did I interrupt you, Ash? Are you still going?
No, that was all I had.
Yeah, no, I love this. See, I love every scene, to be honest. So I'm going to start that every time I speak. But it's really the scene where you see that Neo understands what the Oracle was saying. Like, exactly what I was saying. Like, her saying he's not the one means that he doesn't believe that he's the one. Wasn't her agreeing to it yet. But it's all about him realizing it on his own. But again, I totally like the whole thing with Cypher. Sure, that's cool. And then the destruction of Morpheus in that fucking bathroom is horrifying. The killing of Apoc and Switch, again, insanely sad. But then it starts the scene, which is probably my favorite sequence of the entire film, which is the conversation between Smith and Morpheus. I've just got the little passage here I just want to reiterate because I think it's one of the best like quotes in the entire film. He's like, because you can tell that this program of the Agent Smith is going rogue. Like, he's going rogue because in this hatred towards humanity, he wants it all to end because he fucking hates it here. Where he says, I hate this place, this zoo, this prison, this reality, whatever you want to call it. I can't stand it any longer. It's the smell. If there is such a thing, I feel saturated by it. I can taste your stink, and every time I do, I fear I've somehow been infected by it. It's repulsive, isn't it? I must get out of here. I must get free, and in this mind is the key, my key. Once Zion is destroyed, there is no need for me to be here. Do you understand? I need the codes. I have to get inside Zion, and you have to tell me how. You're gonna tell me, or you're gonna die. I like that one. It just shows his absolute villain take of this entire. I love
And he's
this
so
role.
close to the fucking camera.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
Just makes it even more intense.
Well, you can see him basically almost sweating, which is
Yeah,
like
I
he's
mean,
a program.
he breaks the calmness that he's had the entire movie.
Yeah.
He takes his glasses off, he takes out his earpiece, and he fucking lets loose.
I do like when Morpheus is like first sees Agent Smith, he's like, the great Morpheus, we meet at last. He's like, who are you? He goes, a Smith, Agent Smith. He's like, you all look the same to me. I love that. That's great. Yeah, no, I love this scene. It's just leading up to one of the greatest endings of all time.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Neo and Trinity then arrive at the building that Morpheus is being held in, and we get to the epic lobby shootout, which is what I believe to be one of the greatest action scenes of all time. This entire shootout is a spectacle of Oscar-winning film editing from Zach Stamberg and awesome cinematography from Bill Popes. One thing about the scene that I only caught on to this time around was that Neo and Trinity don't actually reload their guns. They just throw them away.
Yes,
and
I said this to you guys so many times. They don't
Yeah.
reload.
They don't reload their
You
guns. They
commented that
just
on my
pull out.
letterbox review.
Yeah, I was like,
then-
they don't reload, Ash.
They then just throw them away, grab new ones, and then they save so much time. The enemies have
No time
like
to reload.
they're too busy reloading, and then they get killed.
It's
So
so
it's smart,
cool.
which is why Neo requested lots of guns. They jump into the elevator and leave this awesome shot of pure destruction behind. They then explode the elevator and take this epic shootout fight scene to the roof, where again is another great example of this movie's choreography and cinematography.
Mm-hmm.
This is also where we get one of my favorite shots of the movie, as Neo dodges the bullets like Morpheus said that he would. Well, sort of. Trinity then gets programmed to know how to fly a helicopter. It's so sick, by the way. It's like a fucking cheat code, and literally in video games, like shit, I don't know how to do that. I just like, what's the up, right, left,
A, B,
and then
left, right,
bang,
up,
cheat
right.
code. You know how to do it. So yeah, Trinity gets programmed to know how to fly a helicopter. They lower said helicopter to the floor that Smith, Morpheus, and the other agents are on. Neo takes control of a fucking minigun and goes to town. Morpheus awakens because he is very, very injured. Breaks his handcuffs and leaps out of the building window into the arms of Morpheus. Of Neo. They set Morpheus on a nearby rooftop as Trinity puts the helicopter into the side of another building. I like the shot of the building itself when the helicopter actually goes through,
ripple?
because it's like a ripple effect.
Which is one of the coolest shots in all of cinema, of her like going towards the camera and everything behind her is just getting shattered.
She's just swinging.
She is fucking awesome.
Yeah, one of the best action heroes of the '90s, hands down,
Oh, of all time,
of
man.
all time, man.
I love Trinity.
Yeah,
I love.
yeah. We don't get action movies quite the same
I said
nowadays.
first, Harry.
I love her.
She's superior.
Yeah, she is. No, sorry.
But yeah, thoughts on these couple of action scenes and Morpheus's rescue, Harry.
Yeah, they're great. This just goes to show the absolute stunt work. The bullet time's amazing. Uh, this it's just so iconic, but it also just shows like again, it's not only showing the audience that we've known he's the one since the beginning of the film. We understand it, but it's also showing another evolution that Neo realizes he's the one because he's more confident. Like him doing the bullet time thing, he's just like, I don't know how I did that, but I did it, like sort of thing. Like he's like I almost dodged him, which is awesome. But yeah, the dodge this line is one of the coolest lines in cinema. Dodge this, and just the guns up to her head. I think it's great. Yeah, that's all I've got for this scene.
Yeah,
I
it's
think.
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I just also want to add, I think it's really cool, like just the importance of Trinity making sure that she comes with him, like just based on like her connection to Morpheus, obviously. Like I love that she doesn't take no for an answer, and she's like, what are you talking? Like, of course I'm coming with you. Like,
Just
yeah.
connection to Morpheus, eh?
Well,
Or is it something that the
well,
Oracle told her, eh?
Maybe.
Well, we'll find
Just
out.
maybe.
need more mustache to be able to
Yeah,
have
well,
there, Harry.
love it first bullet.
But
Love
you
it first bullet for sure.
awesome couple of scenes. We then enter the subway where Morpheus leaves the Matrix as well as Trinity. However, at the second Trinity leaves, Agent Smith turns up and shoots the phone they used to escape,
Which
leaving
is
Neo
sick.
with Agent Smith.
That's a
Such a
sick
sick scene.
transition.
It
Where she
is.
puts her hand up to the thing and
Yeah. Wait.
it's so sick. Just wait to please mention that he flexes dust off him. Please.
I'll let you do that. We see Trinity telling Neo to run. Obviously not speaking to him, but she just says run. However, earlier in the movie, during the agent awareness training program, Morpheus told Neo that everyone who has stood their ground against an agent has died, but where they have failed, Neo will succeed. As Neo decides to stand his ground and decides to fight.
What's he doing, Byron? What's he doing? Say it.
No. Um,
Say it.
no.
It's what Morpheus says. He's beginning to believe.
You said it. That was a pretty good impression.
Yeah, what the fuck? That was actually kind of scary.
Thank you.
They have a spaghetti western style stare down instead of with paper flying between them. But they then both sprint at each other and jump at each other. And when they land, Smith says, "You're empty," with Neo answering, "So are you."
That's sick. And if you see behind his glasses, you can see Agent like looking at the gun for a second. Like,
Yeah, I caught that too. So this means that they were both counting each other's bullets. They fight for a bit as Neo lands a spinning heel kick that would have Joe Rogan screaming, "Oh, he's hurt."
oh, he's hurt. I heard in my head.
I was so glad you picked up on that.
Nice.
He's hurt. Smith starts to get the better of Neo until Neo says, or he doesn't say anything, he just goes, just as Morpheus did in the training program. They take the fight onto the train tracks whilst the train is on the way. Smith says, "Goodbye, Mr. Anderson," as Neo responds with, "My name is Neo." And this actually brings up one of the funniest fucking letterbox reviews I saw where I logged this movie. One of them was just, "I can also do a backflip."
I did see that.
Neo backflips off of the tracks. It's upwards, but and Smith gets wiped out by the train as Neo begins to run. Morpheus, Trinity, and Tank are being hunted by 6 Sentinels as Smith chases Neo through a crowd of people, through the apartment building, over the fire escape, and eventually makes it to the hotel room 303, which Agent Smith remembers from the opening scene with Trinity. Neo opens door 303, and there is Agent Smith, who shoots him and says, "Goodbye, Mr. Anderson." What a fucking scene. Again, everything in this movie coming back around eventually, and him knowing the location of room 303 from the beginning of the movie leads to Neo's death. So discussion, thoughts on Smith versus Neo, and Neo's death. Ash.
I really enjoy the train, subway, like what do you want to call it, station fight sequence. I think it's really like fun and chaotic, but also just like fun to watch those two directly go against one another. And obviously, the first time I watched this, I was like, I was very upset. I thought that he was gone for good. So that obviously doesn't affect me as much now. But I think they do a really good job building tension here. And I love just how over the top this fight is.
It's so over the top. The backflip's awesome. The flex with the dust, unbelievable.
The use of slow motion.
I love that's one of my favorite shots of this entire film. I think it's just like, oh, this is mad. I think it like massive shout out to Hugo Weaving for this scene as well, just to really showcase like how of an unbeatable sort of being he is. And then the whole train sequence, and then going up to the room, how he's almost there. The 303 is kind of like this whole series has like a lot of like religion references through it, and the use of the word three is a reference to Trinity, because it's the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. The Holy Trinity is the religious number 3. So that's why they keep using number 3, because that's like kind of what he's running back to is Trinity.
Yeah, one thing about the train fight is when Smith takes over and goes into the train, you just look through the window, you can see one person on the train being like, what the fuck? Because he just saw Smith appear out of fucking nowhere, which I think is just a cool little touch. Trinity looks at Neo's body and reveals that the Oracle told her that she would fall in love and that the man she loved would be the one. So he cannot be dead. She then kisses Neo as he resurrects. And here, and only here, Neo reaches his final form and becomes the one. Which is why I interpreted when the Oracle said, when he tells the Oracle that he's not the one, she was right, because he needed this. He wasn't the one until this point.
You need to believe it.
Yeah. Which I think that scene is fucking awesome. Just that reveal. I knew it was coming because I've seen the movie, but it's still so good. Rewatchability is fucking immaculate. We get the iconic shot of Neo stopping the bullets. Neo can now see the Matrix in its true digital rain form. He effortlessly beats the shit out of Agent Smith, leaps inside him, and blows Agent Smith into pieces from the inside. Again, another awesome visual as you see Smith's face fly past the camera.
Yeah, mad.
The Sentinels continue to break into the ship. Neo sprints for the phone, and just when the Sentinels reach the group, Trinity unplugs Neo at the last possible second as our group survives. Neo is back safely. She has a moment with Trinity, and we cut to a shot of the Raining Greed code, just like the movie opened, except this time the search fails. Rather than the Matrix spying on the human race, it is now Neo spying on them. As we leave this Raining Greed code, our last line from Neo, he says, "Where we go from there is a choice I leave to you," which I think is one of his best lines in the movie, and it's his last line. Neo hangs up the phone as we pan out of his location as he leaps into the sky as if he was fucking Superman. The end.
Hell yeah.
Fucking music.
What a movie.
In that final
the Rage Against the Machine. Come on now.
It's so
just so the sick. Band name being Rage Against the Machine.
It's this,
Yeah,
it's so layered.
So final thoughts on the movie as a whole, and if you want to give your favorite scene, quote, characters, now's the time. Ash, I'll start with you, please.
I feel like I've said a lot about the movie. Obviously, I love it. I think, like you said, it has a ton of rewatchability. It's just always going to be a favorite. I just always enjoy and have a blast watching this. I give it a 5 out of 5. no big surprise there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Trinity's my favorite character, which I kind of already said, so that's
Yeah.
not surprising. I think the kung fu scene's really fun. I think the transition initially, like I just love that scene through the phone to him the first time. I think that's one of the coolest transitions ever. And then, like I said, the him and Morpheus first meeting, I think, is a really good one too, for more like, deeper conversation type moment.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think this movie's masterpiece by all counts of the word. It is a 5 out of 5. It's one of my favorite scenes. To touch on those last couple of scenes, I think is awesome. You see that Neo fully realizes that he is the one. The audience fully realizes he is the one. But Morpheus realizes that he was right the entire time, and his face is just like, he is the one. Like, he's like as shocked as everyone else is so good. Yeah. And like, whilst everyone's just staring at the screen, like watching this happen, like, because this is like a legend again, a legend becoming real, whilst there's sentinels trying to rip them apart behind them, which is awesome. And they're just like, they're just waiting to the absolute last second, I think is so fucking cool. But also, if I die and my heart stops beating, I can guarantee I become alive if Carrie-Anne Moss kisses me. Like, I totally understand that. So, like, is he the one, or is Carrie-Anne Moss just dynamite?
We'll never know.
Yeah, we'll never know. But the movie's spectacular. Favorite scenes, it's hard to pick one. Like, the original Morpheus scene when you first get introduced to Morpheus is sick, but the subway fight scene, I think, is like a spectacular version of choreography in terms of fight choreography. I think it is beautiful. But the dodge this is also fucking rad. But sorry for one more. The opening with Trinity is mad. But yeah. 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, 20 out of 20, whatever you like. There is no spoon though, Byron. And by the way, Byron, this is the moment where he finally wakes up.
Yeah.
Come on now.
It's simply just one of the greatest features of all time. It's one of the greatest sci-fis of all time. It's one of the best action flicks of all time. A heavily influential achievement in film, and it's a movie that revolutionized its genres ever since its initial release. If only the rest of the franchise ever matched this level of quality.
Could have been the best trilogy of all time.
I don't. My lowest movie is the third one, and it's like a 5 out of 10.
No.
I really don't. I don't. No, I'm saying I don't dislike the rest of them, but the fourth one especially did not need to be made at all.
The fourth one was a travesty. The fourth one is the Halloween Ends of the Matrix franchise.
I liked it. Shut up.
I'm glad you did.
You guys, you're killing me.
But yeah, one of my favorite movies of all time. It's a 5 out of. It was a 5 out of 5. It still is a 5 out of 5. It'll forever be a 5 out of 5. This movie did enter, I believe, my top 30 movies of all time, from 52nd all time. I think it landed at like 30 or 29. So big jump in ranking. But yeah, it's a fucking masterpiece.
Amen.
Yes.
How are we doing for time, Harry?
We got about 10 minutes.
All right, so draft. All right, we will move on to our draft of the day. It is a 1990s draft. We're doing 10 rounds. The rule is you have to choose one movie from each year of the 90s. You don't have to do it in order.
This is gonna be so fucking cheesy. I love this.
I would encourage you to write it down.
Yeah, I'll have it written down. So okay. If anyone wants references,
the draft order is Ash, me, myself, the Notorious, Letterboxd List God, Agent Smith, and then Harry. Ash, first pick of the 1990s.
You have to go this one, man.
Pressure's on. Do it.
Guys, this is so hard.
I'm already writing it. That's how confident I am.
I have to take Pulp Fiction.
Yes, correct. You
my favorite movie of all time.
Yes.
So I'm taking my 1994 first.
Yep. Gotcha. I've got it all listed out of like every year for every person. Yeah.
All right, Agent Smith.
Anytime,
don't worry about your hair.
Not just Notorious again. Oh my god, everything's so bright. First pick. I'm not gonna lie. I was a nerd with this draft. I wrote down what years I have the strongest selection of. So I'm gonna go with 1990, and I will
Damn
go
it.
Goodfellas.
Damn it, I was going to, yeah. Good pick.
Nice.
Thank you.
Nice one. So I've got two here, right? Yeah.
Yep,
All
bro.
right. So my first pick, I'm gonna go. There's okay. I can go to there. I'm gonna go 1997 with Good Will Hunting,
Oh, good
Great
pick.
pick.
Fuck.
Damn you.
and that's for you, Jay. That's for you.
Such a good movie.
So that's my 1997. That's done. So I've got it all written out as well per year.
Yeah, fuck.
And then I'm going to go. I think I can leave that one. I think that can get back to me. I'm gonna go. No. Oh, come on, man. This is tough. There's so much good shit. I'm going 1993 with Schindler's List.
Nice.
This was a good pick. Yes.
Byron got something he wants.
When I said I sorted the movies that I like my strongest or my weakest years to strong. I am doing it. I'm sorry. 1996 is by far my weakest year, and I am gonna go with the original Scream.
Fuck you.
You're a piece.
But I get it. I get it.
It's actually
was-
not my top year.
It was.
maybe that
I went
year.
with 1990 first because it's a 5 out of 5 Goodfellas, and then it's like a couple 3.5s or 4s,
Yeah,
and then 1996 was easily the next, my second weakest.
nice.
Yep.
Ash back to back.
All right. Gosh.
Yes.
I think I'm gonna go with 91 and I'm gonna take Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, good pick.
Damn. Yeah, that is good.
Yeah. And then let's see. Ooh. Man. There's some really good ones. Okay. I think I will go with 99 and fuck it, I'm gonna take The Matrix.
Yeah, good pick. Very, very good pick.
I do love some other ones from that year, but
Nice. Byron?
Yep. Oh, that changes everything.
you're
Actually,
welcome.
I'm also gonna go with my 1991 movie, which is T2.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's a great pick.
Yep.
All right, so I can leave 1991 till last now.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna go 1999. I'm gonna go The Green Mile.
Good job. Yep, saw that one coming. I was gonna take him.
I always forget it's 99.
I was like, it's such a dog move. I'm not gonna do it.
You already did a dog move, mate.
No, hey, I had to. I'm sorry.
Bow, wow, 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 wow. I'm gonna go for my next pick. I'm gonna go 1995 with Seven.
Oh, good pick.
95 is a great year.
Fuck,
It
it's a good
is.
pick.
It is. It's when I turned 1.
That's
Byron.
What a year.
You got one more. All right. I'll go. I'll join you at 1995, and I will go Heat
Yeah, good. It was between
that
those two.
coming.
It was between those two.
easily.
Okay, I got back to back again.
You sure do.
Yep.
Okay, well then I guess I'll just get my 95 out of the way. I'm taking Before Sunrise, which I
That was
also
the other
think is
one. That was
another
the other one.
Yeah.
amazing
Oh,
film.
I
think
read.
those two-
I read 3 down for each year.
Yes, so
and
did I.
1995 was Heat.
stacked. Yeah.
I also had Casino coming in number 4.
Yes.
Yeah,
Same.
it's another one. I would have taken that if somehow. Oh,
No.
I'd
No,
probably
but-
take Casino over Before Sunset if that was my option.
I wouldn't. I'd go
And-
Before Sunset.
Yeah, but I would. So.
No, it doesn't matter now.
Okay, and then for my next pick, I'm gonna knock off 97 just because there's not as much for me. I'm gonna take Life is Beautiful.
Oh, good,
Ooh, good pick.
fucking pick.
Good pick.
Devastating film.
Yep. All you, Byron.
Let me see.
Has Byron also done 97? No.
Yeah, I'm trying to like keep track as I go too.
I
Oh, I've
This,
done it.
yeah, fuck, I should
I
have
was like, why
started
do I
with
have one left in 97? I was like, well, that's because I took good looking.
97. No, 97 is a fucking hard one. Shit. I'm gonna go with my 93 and go Jurassic Park.
Oh, nice. I like that.
Nice.
Didn't even have that on my
What a
list.
great year.
And then it's me, right? Cool.
Yeah, bro.
All right. So I should take a 93. I'm gonna go 1993. I'm gonna go Dazed and Confused.
Fuck
Oh
you.
wait. Have I already done?
No, you already took 93. You took Schindler's List.
I did. Sorry. My bad.
Don't you
Sorry.
dare.
There's a whole
Right, Ash is
list.
gonna
There's a
pick
whole.
now.
There's a whole.
Don't you dare.
My bad. There's a whole list. Well, we've both taken 93, so that's all yours. If you want it.
Obvious. Yeah, I was betting on it.
I'm gonna change Schindler's List. My bad. I won't take that then. 96. You guys. Ooh, Ash hasn't taken anything by 96 yet, so I should probably take that. I'm gonna go Fargo for 96.
Nice.
I love Fargo.
Job, that was my number 2.
1998. I'm gonna go Saving Private Ryan.
I figured you might do that.
But there's
Trying to think
another
what
one
years.
in that year that is like just as good.
What year am I missing? 91?
You're missing 92, 94, 97, 98, 99.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I could break Ash's heart with a 92 pick.
I mean, I don't know if that's as much of a fan favorite though.
No,
I know, that's what I'm saying.
I think it's just a me and
I don't
Sydney
know
thing.
if I want to. I'm gonna leave that there. I'm gonna go with my 94. Has anyone taken Shawshank?
All
No.
yours.
I'll go to Shawshank Redemption.
Nice. Ash, you got to
Okay. I will go ahead and save my 93 pick because it's not going anywhere.
Yep, strat right there.
Um,
That's a good strat.
I'm going to go ahead and take 96 because I don't have a whole lot left. I'm going to take one of my favorite movies, Matilda.
Oh, good
Such a
pick.
banger.
You know who that's directed by?
Danny DeVito.
That's insane to think
I
about.
love that movie. I've been watching it since I was like 7 years old.
Hell yeah.
Then I think I will take. God, 90s also kind of tough for me. Just for some fun, I'm gonna take Home Alone.
Damn it. Let's go take that.
That's why I was scared of 1990, because if I couldn't get Goodfellas, it dropped to a 4 out of 5, which was Home Alone.
I had a couple 4.5, so I was like, that one sounds fun though.
Or you, Byron?
I'll go with. Shit.
Where
are we? I'm gonna go with my 1999, and I'll just go Fight Club.
Nice.
1999 Fight Club. Nice. All right. So everyone's got 90s. I can save that. Everyone's got 91s. I can save that. Byron hasn't got 92. Ash hasn't got 92. So I got free reign there. And then 94.
I didn't take 92 yet.
I don't have a 92.
You haven't got 92. That's what I said. No one's taken
Oh,
92.
I'm sorry.
so
I thought you
free
said that we had both
yeah.
done it.
I thought
No.
I thought you said you had a full plate because.
No, I'm going to take Reservoir Dogs.
Damn, I should have known. I should have took it earlier.
All right. And then 90, you guys have. 91, you guys have. And I got 94. Which is. Yep, cool. Which you guys have as well. So I can just free reign there. So you've taken Home Alone, haven't you? Yes. I'm going to take 1990, I believe it came out. Yeah. Pretty Woman.
Interesting. I like that pick.
I was going to say Misery because it was the only thing I could think of.
Well, Misery is up there as well. I adore Misery, but like
Yeah, it was the only 1990 movie I could think of off the top of my head.
I think Pretty Woman's fucking awesome.
All right.
Big mistake. Huge.
Big
I have 3 picks left: 92, 97, 98.
Yes, you do. Yes.
I have 98 as well. And 92.
Yeah.
Where the fuck is 97 on my phone? Oh, there it is.
98. You've already done 90. Oh, wait, no, sorry, my bad. I'm looking at dashes. Yeah.
97 and 98
Yep.
and 92.
Yeah. What are you thinking?
A lot of 4.5s. I'm going to take my... Fuck. Sorry, Ash. I'm going to go with my 92 and go Army of Darkness.
That's fine.
There's
You
one
don't
in
even like
98
it as much as I do.
that I'm like so surprised has not been taken.
If there is, I haven't seen it or I rate it low.
Please.
Is it my turn?
Yeah, you got 2. Please.
Okay. 92, I'm going to take the Mighty Ducks.
Fuck yes.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Ducks fly together.
So fucking the first one specifically.
Of course,
I just fucking love it. Okay, and then I'll go 98 since I know my 93 is safe. Oh gosh, I'm between 2.
This could
I'm taking the Big Lebowski.
Nice.
Oh, okay. Yep, that was my second option.
Yeah, so is it for me.
All
Byron?
right, so you're both taking 98.
Yep, I have everything but 93.
I'll take my 90. I'll take my 97.
Yeah,
then.
everyone's got like singular picks now.
I'll go 97, and I will go. Oh, see, they're both out there movies, so I don't like. Fuck it, give me that Seth vote. I'm gonna go Lost Highway.
I almost took that.
Shout out David Lynch.
I do love that movie.
That's a 5 out of 5 for sure.
Titanic undrafted. Wow.
What is it?
Yeah,
That's
Titanic undrafted.
Crazy.
I'm not a big fan of Titanic.
Wow.
I mean, it's a 4.5 for me. I just had higher rated movies.
1994. I'm gonna go The Lion King.
Yep, that was the
Nice.
other
That was my
94
other
I had.
pick.
And 91.
I think it was everyone's fucking
Yeah.
other pick. It's just a safe, good pick to have.
91's tough. I'm in between like 6.
Jesus, I prepared 3 for each, which is 30 movies.
Man, we'll watch more movies.
Fuck off.
Oh no, I'm gonna go. I want some Scorsese on here. I'm gonna go Cape Fear.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah,
I
me
really want
neither.
to.
I love Cape Fear, man. Cape Fear's great.
I almost did like last week.
That's
Might do that tonight. Because I want to.
You got 1998, bro.
1998. There's really only one left, which is still a 5 out of 5 for me. I will go The Truman Show.
Yeah, that was the one I was thinking of.
I enjoy the Big Lebowski more.
Yeah, I
I
fuck
think Truman's
with that.
probably a better movie, but
Big Lebowski is so much
I
fun.
typically just go with my higher rated movie.
I have such a hard time with drafts because I have such a hard time pandering. Like I just want to pick all my favorite movies, and then I'm like, well, not everybody else agrees with that though.
And I know what you're picking.
I'm pretty happy with this.
My final pick is my second favorite movie of all time, and that is Dazed and Confused.
Nice. So to reiterate, Ash had 1990, Home Alone, 91, Silence of the Lambs, 92, The Mighty Ducks, 93, Dazed and Confused, 94, Pulp Fiction, 95, Before Sunrise, 96, Matilda, fucking rogue, but I love that pick so much. 97, Life is Beautiful, 98, Big Lebowski, 99, Matrix, solid.
The like variety there is fantastic.
Huge. Byron had 1990,
Fucking
Goodfellas, 91, T2, 92, Army of Darkness, 93, Jurassic Park, 94, Shawshank, 95, Heat, 96, Scream, what a back-to-back year that is, 97, Lost Highway, 98, Truman Show, 99, Fight Club. And Harry, me, I had 1990, I had Pretty Woman, 91, Cape Fear, 92, Reservoir Dogs, 93, Schindler's List, 94, The Lion King, 95, 7, 96, Fargo, 97, Good Will Hunting, 98, Saving Private Ryan, and 99, The Green Mile. We've watched an insane amount of movies.
I think Byron's gonna win, but
Yeah, I think Byron's list is solid.
great lists.
I'm gonna get all the Filmborough fucking votes.
Yeah.
I'm happy with mine.
I mean, T2, Scream, Goodfellas, and Heat is enough for the Filmboroughs.
Yeah.
Fight Club as well.
Yeah, and Fight Club, probably the most.
Honestly, if I had to watch
Film-
those 10 movies for the rest of my life, I wouldn't be mad at it. The
No,
ones that I got.
absolutely.
No, I got some weird shit from David Lynch.
Nice. All right, close us off.
Sweet. That concludes episode 16 of the Love, Death, and Movies podcast. Follow us across everything. Rate us 5 stars on Spotify. Like and subscribe to the YouTube. Follow us on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, the whole shebang. And we will see you next week for episode 17, beginning a new theme for February.
Ooh, follow the TikTok to find out what the theme is.
Fucking crazy. All right. See you later.